And we return once more in Dominions 5. Welcome back, everybody. We are playing Relay, and we're playing against Asphodel in this playthrough here. Let's see if we can figure out what I did in this turn. Let's see. Oh, alright, and we are receiving a Rune Smasher now from Argosafal. That's what all those trading gems was all about. I was buying a Rune Smasher that I can't craft myself. This is an item that increases your magic penetration on the unit that is carrying it. And then that will help us with mind hunting, which I talked a bit about in the previous episode. We've also received 20 water gems, which we traded 20 death gems for Citis. Good. Research in thaumaturgy is completed. We are at level 5. So now we can probably mind hunt. And I'm pretty sure we are setting that up in this turn. Then we have cast a Naiad that I will talk about in a bit if I remember it here. I thought this was a different unit, so this is a bit of a disappointment. The one I wanted was the Oceanid, which is a special unit for other nations, and I thought my memory was flawed. I thought this was the same thing. This one is a decent unit, but it doesn't, like the other thing that I wanted was like a water unit that gives you 1 water gem per turn, so you'll get your investment back over time. This one does not do that. So it was a misplay summoning this unit. Oh well. We played the Dark Knowledge. We didn't find anything. No magic sites. Oh, we already cast a Mind on this turn, but an enemy commander was called Mord was immediately attacked. Mord managed to resist the spell. Right, because I did do a Mind Hunt in the previous turn because I knew that the research comes first. I even checked this in the manual. So in order to have a successful Mind Hunt, you need to have Soul Slay researched. But you can set it up in the turn before because the research comes first in the turn. So when this Mind Hunt comes around, you will research the Soul Slay and then it will be applied in the Mind Hunt. We failed it though. He resisted the spell. Then Arcane Probing for some magic site checking, and we didn't find anything. No more magic sites found. We've taken control of the province of Soloth. Let's go on here. There's a battle in Trouba. This is still just the Morgan champions here looting all of Argosafal's territory, but this is a different one, and he's supported by a little druid who is... It's called Fluffing, where you have a thug moving in, and then you have another little spellcaster standing behind him at the start of the battle, who just casts some buffing spells, so that basically you only have so and so many turns to set up buffing spells, and one unit cannot buff himself enough, in theory. Not necessarily always, anyway. So what you can do is precisely what's going on here. You have another guy standing behind him, helping him with some extra buffs earlier on in the fight. Even if it's just one spell, you're helping with 1 extra turn for your main guy, right, who wants to do the fighting. And then the other guy can just stand back and do some buffing spells on himself, like protection spells, so that hopefully he doesn't die, which you see him doing Iron Skin. I'm not sure, because he cast Blessing first, but I guess he missed. So he didn't actually help in this fight, interestingly enough. But then the thug goes in. The guy here is still strong enough. He also takes a little bit of the heat in case the other opponent has enough units to split them up. So all in all, it works out really well. And the other little guy is really, really cheap, comparatively anyway. So, and doesn't carry as many items. This is a really good strategy that you can use. And of course, Mr. Hughes here always knows what he's doing. We have a battle between Asphodel and me in Lake Vastness. See, yeah, so he did move his troops down here, and I counter-moved in with our Ice Elementals and our other guys here, and we have these Shockoth bots. So let's see if we once again can wipe a stack of Asphodels. Basically, everything I have here is trembling, and then we have these Shockoth bots, which we are hoping to see in effect here. What they do is when they hit, they drain life, and if they go above a certain amount, then they will turn into an upgraded unit. And that should work really well in theory against the skeletons that don't do a lot of counter damage to these guys. So we trample into their lines here. And we do take some damage on our golems. But our guys are just running in there, trampling right, left, and center. Here's the first one that grows, turns into a Shoggoth from Relay here, which is just an upgraded version of the smaller Shoggoth bot. So yeah, there's one. And all in all, when we overpower them with trampling units, we really overpower them and murder. So we got a pretty good trade here. We lost some ice golems, ice elementals, but we gained some Shoggoths. Let's see here. In Lake Vastness, we lose 7 total ice elementals, but we gain, so we lose size 4 ice elementals, but some of them turn into smaller size 3 and size 2 elementals. So in all, we lost 3 of them entirely, and then 4 of them just got reduced in size instead, right? And then we lost 6 Shoggoths, but they all turned into the biggest Shoggoths. So none of them actually died. They just got bigger. And that's exactly what we want to do with them. Find some battles where we can grow the Shoggoth bots on like low tier troops, make them into proper units. And that's really nice. That worked out really well. Trading a little bit of ice elementals for this stack here, it worked out. Nice. Good. Making Asphodel pay. Then another battle for use versus Arcasval. Let's see if we catch a cool battle here. This is the same group we saw in the previous episode, and they're just going to slaughter these small province defense. Not super interesting. Then there's a battle in Jotunheim, where sometimes people, when they take a castle, then they feel really confident and like they don't have to put up PD. So I'm just poking and checking whether he's on his toes, and he was. He actually put a lot of PD in here, and some guys to patrol everything and such. So yeah, he slaughtered my little scout. That's alright. In Tiffin Sea, we are trying to reclaim some territory. And there's not a lot of PD in here. I'm still summoning water elementals. Oh no, I'm not summoning water elementals here. We were hoping to do it without, I suppose. And indeed we managed to do just that. I think that guy is deceased, so I'm like, just send him out and see if he can claim a territory with that little escort of his, and it worked, so it's all good. And we're taking control of the faraway sea, but let's check the battles first. There was a battle in the Greater Wild down here, so now he's moving out of Jotunheim and claiming all the nearby territories, obviously, making it his little area. And they go can't really counterplay this. I think he might actually lose one here. Yeah, he loses the Black Centaur in here for some reason. I think it's actually it must be to friendly fire, so that's really nice. In Momefe, you see another battle between Arcasval and this. Here he is moving out of, he's being besieged in here, I think, so he's moving out some units. But Yus has moved in proper counter or sieging army here. They're not going to break the siege with that army. There's no little siege power, but it's definitely enough to kill any army that thinks it might be a good idea to poke out. And yes, he does get punished for that. In Latian, Asphodel is attacking me. Another raiding stack. Not a lot of defense, doesn't really matter. Does he lose anything? No. Wicker Woods. We are seeing the little thug come up here, the black, what's it called? Bane Lord. And again, there's a chance he can see he's stunned at least, so I mean he can't attack anyone, but we also get, because he has this wine shield, we can't really attack him either, so everyone's just stunned at each other here. We run out of mind paralyze stuff, and now he's gonna wake up. So this guy has a really, really strong meteorite trident. If he can get in here, he might kill him. But he's not good enough or lucky enough, so he dies. And then we lose. That's in the woods. An event is... So we took the faraway sea here. And we took Soloth there. Alright. Good stuff. There's a battle, an unexpected event in Mammoth Grove. We gained some dominion. There's a battle in Dragon Point. What is this all about? This is up here, right. The territory that Asphodel has conquered for me is now being conquered by sea dogs, scurvy dogs, and they slaughter that guy. We don't really care about the territory. It's such a terrible territory. As long as it's not his, I'm glad. Or Nabas. A sneaking enemy was discovered. Okay, kill a Bayan scout. We are under siege in Regal Woods. Here. By that one guy. And then we have a new famous hero. Vulcan here is going into this ancient master site. Training to become a ninja. Like Batman. And he got heroic quickness, which is a really good ability for a melee combatant. So perfect. And we're just gonna let him do it a little bit more. Trying to make a small thug out of him would be nice. And that's it. So, what else? We are bunching up in the whirling sea. Not sure why I'm doing this, but whatever. Here we have a pretty decent army. Here's our main army. It's looking good. Scrolling through it maybe a little too quickly here, but lots of commanders, and we have a lab in here, so they're just standing here waiting. They're on hold for now, just standing their ground. Next objectives for Asphodel will be to probably take the thrones. So we're expecting him to come up here to buy Deadlands, and we are preparing for just that. Trolling to gem burn. And yeah. Anything else? I don't know that there's a lot of other things to talk about this turn. Here's the Naiad that we summoned in here. So, she's a pretty good unit, but she's got this trait called homesickness. So, every turn that she is not in her home province, she will take 10% of her health as damage. So, you should never leave that home region. But that's one thing, so that makes her a really terrible unit. It means she can stand in here and then just stay here forever and protect the territory. She doesn't cost upkeep, at least. But she doesn't. I was hoping to get like a commander who gives me one water gem per turn, which is a different unit and a national spell for other nations. I had completely forgotten about that. So it's unfortunate. She was too expensive to be good. But whatever. Now she's casting a spell for me because we moved in this vastness from Relay. We can Gift of Reason it, which makes it a commander, and that will awaken latent magical abilities that thing has, and that will make it a really, really good and strong commander for me going forward. And what else? Boost speed being forged. We're trying to make some equipment for my thug here. Don't know that if there's anything else to talk about then. Forging water lenses. Recruiting a ninja. And I think that's it for this turn. Let's cover the next one. This was turn number 49. Without saving, continue all game, going to number 50. We have received another magic rune. Oh, this is turn 50. No, that's good. So it's another one. We got another Rune Smasher from Argosval. I'm assuming that I paid for both. Our specs, dark knowledge, nothing found. Female for discovering a hostile mage scrying upon our land. Female severed the astral course of the maid called Ifir. This will probably render the enemy insane for life. I don't know about that. I've never, ever scryed upon another province with myself, so I don't know who did this and why. But whatever, we punished someone trying to scry on me. We mind hunted on the Bane Lord, and this time it was successful. The mental attack on Mord was successful. Mord was killed by the attack. So, I didn't talk a whole lot about that, but it basically costs you... We'll check it out. I'll try to remember to look at it at the end of this here. We cast Give the Reason. There's a battle in Bodhi, though. Let's cover the battles real quick. Another raid by a Thug. He takes that province. We take the River Woods. There's a battle in Latian, where I'm punching out. Again, just checking whether he puts up PD, and he does. And in Soloth, there's the big army coming towards us. No big surprise there. So let's talk about... Give the reason first, I think. So here, Nirigli Sar, the vastness, has been gifted with reason, makes him a commander, awakens latent magical abilities that he might have, and that would be Astral 3 for this type of unit. I knew that ahead of time. You should always check that ahead of time before you start Give the Reasoning random people, but that makes him a really, really good commander now. And he's still, 3 in upkeep, and now he can lead magic units, and he can teleport anywhere on the map independently of any leader, and he has this ability called Innate Spellcaster, so that he can both shoot with 4 Mind Blast and attack with Steel Strength and cast spells all at the same time. He is a beast, so we give him some magical gems and move him back up here just to join the army, I believe. Yeah, and this is just a really, really good commander to have on our side. Then the other thing was the Mind Hunt. So, am I Mind Hunting this turn? No. But, in theory, what you do is you go into cast ritual spell. Mind Hunt. It costs 2 gems. You select whatever province you want to attack with it, and then it will Mind Hunt in that province. Now we know in here that he has an Astral Mage, so we can't Mind Hunt on this province here. If we would do that, we would get punished for it almost guaranteed. I think 80% chance here, because they have a level 2 Astral Mage. You gotta check ahead of time, but then if it works, if you can get away with it like we did on Mord here, you need to equip, it's based on, you need 4 Astral paths to cast it, then it is affected by penetration, so I put an Eye of the Void on this guy, giving penetration +2. We have a Spell Focus, giving penetration +1. We have the Rune Smasher, giving penetration +2, so that's 5. And then 1 extra Astral gives him Astral 5, and for every level you are above the spell's requirements, you also get an extra penetration. So for a total of +6 to the breaking the magic resistance of the unit that will be defending against the spell, right? So that's pretty cool. You want to, I think this is the max you can immediately get, and you can obviously find other ways to boost it even further. But as a base, that's as good as we get it, I think. So that's quite nice. Unfortunately, I can't do the same with my Pretender because he can't carry a lot of items. He's casting Teleport to Mammoth Grove, right? Because right now, we're looking at Soloth here. I was wondering in this turn, I'm sure that he has a good reason, but why? Usually we see Asphodel moving 2 tiles in a turn, so I thought he would be able to move all the way to Deadlands in one fell swoop. It might be that there's something in here that can't move 2 tiles, and that's why he moved 1 only, but I couldn't find anything here that had map move less than 20, so he should have been able to move all the way in 1 turn, but he didn't. So why didn't he do it? He's positioning himself in Soloth. I'm thinking that it might be because he wanted to move directly to Mammoth Grove, which would be the unpredictable move as usual. And so I'm teleporting in my Pretender, because here he has the benefit of being able to fight my army outside of the fort. I'm thinking that that's what he is trying to do here. He wants to fight my army outside the fort. So I'm teleporting in my Pretender with a script, and we've set up a whole very, very detailed, the full battle script that I needed to do with Solar Brilliance, everyone going Communion Master. We are doing Anoint with Auras, which makes people blessed even though they're not. Horde of Skeletons, lots of Communion Masters. doing all the big spells, some water elementals. We have Petrona here, who has a Barriers of Gaia, making her a Communion Master, even though she isn't able to do a Communion Master as normally. And extra stuff giving her extra nature magic, so she's going to do some big nature spells for me. Serpent's Blessing, Master Regeneration. And we're down here with our Priest Communions. We're doing Divine Wrath, his Protection of the Void. Not all of these spells will make sense to everyone, but suffice to say that there's a whole lot of big spells being cast in here. Healing Rain to help me with recovering from all the fatigue we're getting from spells. So I'm fairly confident that I could beat him coming into from Southern into Mammoth Grove, which is what I'm thinking that he's going to do. Good. I'm setting out Volcan here with just boots of speed. With that, he is going to be quite quick at this point. Moving into Swarm of Solitude to be a little bit of a thug raider. We have raiding in Latian, which I'm sure that there's no way he's going to stop in Latian. That's not how he moves his units around. So either he's going to Deadlands or Mammoth Grove. He's got more units marching forward here. I'm moving... right. I could have moved this whole stack over to Boat Eater, but am I... Yeah, I'm building a lab in here now in the Whirling Sea, so that I can have an army positioned here to respond to threats in this general area and make it... This is our highest income province. I want to start defending this one more reliably, because it's going to make it harder for his thugs to like raid around my territory. If I'm patrolling and we're just building a lab in here and just have our guys researching without a fort. Right now he could move into relay and he can just take out the PD and not fight the mages inside. That won't be the same case over here if they are researching here without a fort. So that's why we're building a lab here, just to have an army position outside. And I'm hoping that will work out quite well for us. And that's about it. I'm not doing a whole lot of other movement. I'm abandoning the Wicker Woods with our army here. I've forged this Seeking Goblet so that we can take our Jade Maidens here underwater, which is kind of ridiculous, but whatever, it's fun. I like these ladies here. They're blessed, they're sacred, so they can get our cool bliss, and that makes them pretty powerful. Saying we've been recruiting a few in here, I think. No, never mind, because we don't have any money. But let's see if he comes into Mammoth Grove in the next turn. I think we can cover one more turn in this episode here. So let's go and do that. That was turn number 50, so let's go to 51. Research in Thaumaturgy is completed. We go up to level 6 for some reason. Let's see if I can figure out why I went to 6. There must be something in here that I thought was good to get. And Elite's Enslaved Mind is pretty powerful. Can't enslave mind on mindless units, obviously, but we can take his centaurs away from him and some of the other big units. It's a pretty good spell to cast. Dimensional Shambler. I don't know that at this point in the game, but Dimensional Shambler is a spell that some of our mages are going to start casting, and it's kind of like an instant kill spell, but of course with a magic resistance check. It's I don't know how it is compared to like Soul Slay up here, but I mean it's higher level. You would think that it's better, and apparently my mages prefer it. It's also a national spell, so a lot of our mages are going to start casting this one. It's just an instant kill when it works, and apparently it's really good, so that's where we get that. Other than that, there's nothing really here that we were trying to get. Nope. Alright. Conjuration 6. Right, I know why I'm going to Conjuration 6, but it's a mistake. What I want to get is Living Water down here, which summons 4 and more water elementals for only 2 water gems. But I at this point, I'm thinking, or I thought that those Living Fire, Living Clouds, Living Earth, and Living Water was in Conjuration 6, so I thought we could get it really quickly, and then later I learned that we need to go to level 7 to get that, so kind of a misplay there. Dire Portent. Vegemite, God of Oscar, has cast a global enchantment, so we're gonna have to look at that. But let's check all the battles first. There's a battle in Hexwood between Nabar and Yus. And we get to see, it's been a while since we've seen, amazing, the Solar Serpent. But here, it is. It is attacking a little swan. I was kind of baffled by this. I haven't played Yus a whole lot, but apparently they can summon swans. This is an air and water mage. It's a shape changer, so it's a unit that can change into a swan or whatever. And then Nabar is moving in with these big units here. The war, I think this is the first instance where we see Nabar is now attacking Yus. And I'm not sure whether war was declared, and I'm not really into the whole diplomacy there. But they are now fully on at war, and that swan lady died. Right quick. So there you go. The Solar Serpent is on the march. Then that was in Hexwood. Then there is a battle in the faraway sea where I am attacking. Down here, just trying to reclaim some territory, and I think we get away with it. Oh, do we? Water elementals are pretty powerful underwater. I'm warming up to them. They are better than I thought they were, and they do manage to claim this fight here. Very good. Two of them, one isn't enough, but when you cast two of them, they get surprisingly strong together. They also regenerate and stuff like that. In Burman Highs, we are seeing Asphodel and Yus attack each other. Or here, I think this is also something that they talked about, because they don't go into a full-on war after that. So I'm sure Asphodel once again has asked for passage and gotten paid for it in here. So yeah, Yus is also not backstabbing, but like making underhanded deals behind my back. He's my ally, not my ally, but we are at peace anyway, and he's enabling Asphodel to take me down, which is sad to see, but what can I do? So there you go. Then in Dragon Point, we see Nabar attacking some independents. That's up here. He's reclaiming that from these sea dogs, but also marching towards Yus territory. And he's using a small communion in here. Not that it's necessary for this one here. There's a battle in the sea Untamed between Asphodel and myself. He's attacking me up here with another thug. This one is, I think, one of the turns where I'm like, how did he get there? I'm not sure, because these guys cannot teleport. They cannot, like, cloud to peace. And underwater, they should have reduced map move, I think. I'm not sure how he got to this province, because he certainly wasn't adjacent in the previous turn. So there's this happens a few times over the next few episodes, where we see these thugs moving way further and across my territories where I didn't think that they could. And I'm still, to this point, recording now, I'm not sure how that exactly works. But suffice to say, he does so, and there you go. He raids my territory. Then there's a battle in Deadlands. This is turn 52. Oh. Did I mess up? Yeah, okay. So I messed up and we've skipped a turn. Alright. Whoops. So this is turn 51 was then lost. But we can recap real quick. He moved on to Deadlands. So, with his main army. So, and it immediately, of course, breaks the walls down. So I felt obligated to move in my army. And here is the battle that you've all been waiting for. Which means that we don't have the script, because that was made in turn 51, but it's more or less the same as I showed in the previous episode. Or what was it in this episode? I think I skimmed over it. But here's the battle, and when I move in and we see the army in its full glory, I'm going to use that word. It's not as glorious as I thought. It's way smaller than I thought. And his army is, of course, bigger, but I have a bigger ratio of quality units, where he has a whole lot of chaff. He, of course, has his black centaurs, which are very, very powerful. And I think I have more casters in general, but a lot of mine will be communion slaves, and a lot of them will be actually casting anything, right? Because they'll just be slaves. But here we are, and what a battle! With the biggest communion that I have ever made. Wow, that is loud. I can't. I mean that animation or noise, voice, sound bit is just so loud. So there you go. A lot of he's casting all his big spells, and I'm casting all of mine. So I'm casting Natural Rain, which makes it makes fire magic more difficult to use. Reduces heat. I'm not sure why I cast this one. It's not a big deal, but he is using some fire spells. Then I cast Relief. No, he cast Relief, which lowers the fatigue of friendly units on the battle over time. Then we see Light of the Northern Star going up on my side, but it works for everyone. Not that he doesn't have a lot of astral mages, but it makes all mages on the battlefield more powerful in astral magic. So that's mostly gonna help my guys. And the Solar Ram, I think, is his only guy affected by that. Then we got Foul Vapors coming up. So he's covering the entire battlefield in Foul Vapors, which is poison. So I've, of course, prepped some spells to counteract that, and we won't be taking a whole lot of damage from this. Then Rigor Mortis, he's casting Rigor Mortis, which is the opposite to Relief. Relief lowers the fatigue for all friendly units. Rigor Mortis increases fatigue for all living units on the battlefield, not undead and not inanimate. And like 99%, oh, I guess not 99, but 90% of his army is undead, and I have some inanimate, but not a lot. But with Relief being cast on my side in a sec here, he's also casting Darkness, which makes the whole battlefield dark, and something goes wrong. Right. Something goes wrong. I think I read on a forum post somewhere that Solar Brilliance, which is a spell that I have scripted, is supposed to override Darkness. We don't care about Darkness, but I think what happens here is that Darkness instead overrides my Solar Brilliance and blocks it from being cast. Or it doesn't get cast, maybe I misscripted or something. But regardless, Solar Brilliance never goes up. Solar Brilliance being like, it makes the sun super bright and it burns on all undead on the field and blinds people. But it never goes up. So we don't get the benefit of that, and Darkness does take effect. Now, we don't really care about Darkness. All of my guys have Spirit Sight, and most of them are blind anyway and don't have eyes. So we literally do not care about the Darkness. There's not really any benefit. I'm not sure why he even chose to cast it against me. Pretty sure every single one of my units, maybe except these slave mages, they do care about it, but that's about it. And all his centaurs, well, they have Dark Vision 50%, which is half as good as full Dark Vision, right? But still good. Then I'm casting this Arc Battle Enchantment. It's called Divine Wrath on the spell list, but it will blind, disease, and cause death to those that are not sacred in the eyes of the gods. In my god, because I'm the one casting the spell. So that includes my own units. Most, 80% of my army is sacred here, so most of my units are immune to it, and of course every one of his units are not protected from that spell. So it should, in theory, blind, disease, and give death to a bunch of units here. It's only around for a few turns, but then it does. That's what causes this bright thing to move up, but we still have the darkness online. And the arc is already gone again. It's hard to cover all the things that are going on in the battlefield here. We can check one of my guys here. We have 23 communion slaves, giving a total of magic boost 4 for my mages here. And right now, I'm worried about burning my communion slaves. They're 52 fatigue. I think it goes pretty well, and I might even have been able to. Something that is really hard in Dominions is to calculate how many communion masters you can have relative to your communion slaves, and it's something that I'm very bad at, to be fair. He's not doing any communion on his side. Then I cast Relief. He casts Howl, which will start to summon wolves that will join the field off the edges of the map. I'm pretty sure I end up doing Howl as well, and I have cast Relief. Here is what? Now, the Light of the Northern Star is up. Oh, and darkness is gone. What am I saying? Apparently so, yeah. Light of the Northern Star has removed darkness, and there's Light of the Northern Star. So it did work. No. Light of the Northern Star. It's called Solar Brilliance is the one I wanted. But darkness is gone for whatever reason. Huh. Interesting. And so, in this battle, what we are learning in general is that I have underestimated these black centaurs. They have been increased in size, some of them I think, like they have been by an enlarged spell, and they are absolutely butchering my units. And I think I have these things from that should not be, and they are stronger than the centaurs, and you generally kill them, but there's like 3 or 4 times the amount of centaurs to my strong units, and I mean, he's got a backline of chaff that are gonna help with casting meteors, casting all kinds of different spells. The fact of the matter is that he just has way more units than I do, so even with the spell support and some arguably stronger units, the sheer mass pushing in against us, he powers through my line with the centaurs. And there you go. He is slowly encroaching. We are sending out skeletons as well, but you can also check his back line here. He's got an amount of skeletons moving forward all the time. And at some point, before they really join battle, the things that should not be will start routing. They are in battle. Look at that, they're just being completely overwhelmed and surrounded. So they didn't end up paying off as much as I had hoped that they would. Our Mind Blasters are out of Mind Blast, so they're moving forward to fight. All in all, it's a really cool battle, but there's something else going on that is kind of hard to see. Maybe I can find him here. You might recall that my prophet was a little bit special. Let me see if I can find him. My prophet is very special and a true lifesaver. Let's see if I can find him. I don't see him. Well, I'm gonna keep pausing until I find him. I'm sure he must be up here. There he is. Huh, what's he doing up here? Well, Tehom the prophet. Oh boy, he has been around since the dawn of this age. He's got heroic toughness. So, and the Dominion bonus is plus 24 in here. He's been enlarged, and he's got heroic ability plus 34, 20. So his current maximum hit points is 145, which is pretty damn high. Then he's got regeneration 20%, and he's got 22 protection and 26 magic resistance. 0 defense skills because he's been harassed 36 this turn, but that doesn't really matter. He is basically unkillable by anything other than very, very focused attacks. And he's got this magical artifact, Nethgul, which is a lich in a pocket lich in a way. It casts spells, and it teleports him around the field, and it casts Mind Blast and Enslave Mind and stuff like that. But it blinks him around the field. And basically, while the rest of the army is failing, he survives. Like, the rest of the army is running away. A lot of my really, really good mages and stuff actually end up escaping. And then the Prophet is in here, and they can't kill him. Now, he is broken, and if he could, he would run off the field. But he can't fly, and he can't teleport out of the field. And he certainly can't move anywhere, because he's continually entangled. So he'll just stand here and not die. And Nethgul, his little pocket lich, will continue to throw spells for the rest of the fight. He's also got Holy Avenger, which punishes attackers. And I think my Basilisk here ends up teleporting out, so it saves itself. Also having done quite a bit of work. Pretty sure this one lives. It's also got 20% regeneration. It's hard to kill. Yeah. It will get away. Where's Tihom? Down here now. And so Asphodel has won the fight, but he can't kill my Prophet. And apparently he can't really kill this Basilisk over here either. This one ends up running away, but it's fatigued out of its mind right now. And so is Tihom here. He's at 187, so they can't even move. But he's got Holy Avenger that continues to cast spells. And he's got the Pocket Lich casting some spells every once in a while. Mind Burn, Soul Slay, Horror Mark. It's not really a big deal. Where is he now? Now he's over here. This thing's still there. The vastness. And so this goes on for a while. And in Dominions 5, there is a limit to the amount of turns that you can play in any given battle. And when you get to that turn limiter, there's like a default end the battle kind of thing that just wipes the field. Now he's up here, and the skeletons are trying to move up and kill him, but he's at full health again. And I was sworn that this guy lives, so let's see. He might get out at some point here. I'm not sure how he does. Because it occurs to me that he's completely fatigued out of his mind here. How would he ever get out? But I suppose at some point the thing is, all his mages are also fatigued out of their brain, of their mind, because of the rigor mortis. They can't ever really recover. So even though they are broken, all of his units that are living, they can't run away. They're just going to stay here. And some of his mages are undead, so they won't run away either, because they never run away. Now everything has stopped moving. Oh, and then at some point, I suppose now he's not being attacked anymore, so the Recklessar here is recovering his fatigue slowly. Meanwhile, the Prophet is not. I'm not sure why he gets away with it. But everything has stopped moving. Now. And so then that goes on for a while. And the patient hunter gets the prey. Huh. And there you go. The whole field gets wiped. Interesting, because the Recklessar was still here, but I could have sworn to you that he survives. Indeed, the vastness is here and lives. So I'm not sure why he is excused, but we lost the battle, sure. Our forces were beaten by the defending forces of Asphodel. But we wiped everything, still. So, it's a we can consider it a victory, but in reality, this was everything that I had, while Asphodel has way more stuff still coming up. And some of his units ran away, mainly Centaur warriors and Black Centaurs. A good amount of them got away. On the other hand, though, if you look at my board up here, some things got away, and it's mostly my mages, the hybrid cultists, a few starspawns, like six of my 11 starspawns got out, 2-star children, 2 slave mages got out, and those are the really important ones, and 3 things that should not be, but, I mean, we absolutely got butchered here. So arguably I should not have taken this fight in the first place. And such is life. I'm not sure if I could have planned it better and maybe abused that my prophet here was basically unkillable. I'm sure that if he had been surrounded by purely black centaurs at the start, then he would have died. So it would have been pretty tricky to set it up so that he wouldn't die, but maybe it would have been possible to do like a super combatant thing with him, where he just goes in and then doesn't die and does the same thing without me losing my army. That would have been glorious. No such luck though. We do lose the fight in effect, but yeah, we wipe his stack, and that's a pretty devastating loss from Asphodel. Like, this is, even if he's got more stuff, this could be like him not winning the game, because if he had, we could take the other side of the spectrum, which is if everything of his has survived this, he would have been in a really good spot. But having lost all of this is definitely punishing. Alright, enough about that battle. Did I already do the other things here? I think so. Yes, then let's check the battle in Arcosafal. There is a battle in Arcosafal. We've got another interesting battle here. Nabar had been bragging about this Marit for a while, which is a big summon that he's done. He's gonna equip him up with a good amount of cool items. Look at this guy. Like, he's on level with my Cthulhu, almost at least. And yeah, he moves him in here, but not really considering that Yus has everything set up to take the fort in here, like a lot of big spells prepared. Going mass flight, I think. So before Mr. Marit on the other side can really buff up, he is assaulted by the full force of the Yusian army, and that results in him being torn down right quick. And let me see here. He kills 12 units, sure, some Sworn Knights, some Warlock Knights, but nothing really of consequence, and then he dies. So, a big loss for Nabar here, losing his big super combatant in the first engagement. Too bad. And then we can, let's check the battle in Trouba here. He's also got this Boread, which is a really cool unit with the Amun-Hotep crown, taking a small province here. Love this unit. Been using him a lot when I was playing Arcosafal in a big Dominions game. He's an absolute beast. Also really expensive, but there you go, Boread. Very cool. They come in with 3 air and then 2 of one of these 3 paths here. They're sacred. And they have a lot of good stuff going for them. Then there's the battle inside Arcosafal. And now, because because Nabar came in and burned, he basically gem burned Yus here. So now he doesn't get all of his cool stuff. And in here, this is the final stand of Arcosafal, and so he's playing with Athena, mostly Athena, the Titan of War and Wisdom, as his pretender. And Arcosafal can also summon a super combatant called Athene, which is the same chassis So she's got like a twin right now. And a lot of cool mages in here. He's gonna do like a little communion. What a quaint little communion there, eh? It's still powerful, obviously. He might even have as many. How many does he have? 6 communion slaves. Okay, nowhere near the same amount I had. So these Morvek Knights were set up to have mass flight and fly to the backline here. Now they are not doing that. And so now Yus's plan for this engagement is completely messed up. Something that he spoke a little bit about in the Discord. And it ends up costing him quite a bit, I believe. If not the entire fight, but I'm pretty sure he will punch through. But he loses the Sworn Knights in the back there. And now he's gonna have to fight this little bottlenecked fight in the gate here. He does make everything rout, and I think he will eventually win. But it ends up costing him way more than it should have because of Nabar's little trick at the front. Or outside the gates. Oh, a Morag Knight has made his way in. It's a champion, I guess. A Morgan Princess. Alright. And there they go, then they finally break through and slaughter everyone inside. And that'll be the end of Akasval. Akasval holds out for a few more turns after this, like 10 or so. But this is his real last stand. So, yeah, I mean, the 11 Sworn Knights lost. I'm not sure how Yus gets these, but they are certainly probably really expensive. Morvek Knights, 13 of those lost. Living statues ready, 1 Yusian Druid. So, I mean, not that big of a deal. All things considered, when you see what's on the other side, and that he takes out Akasval, but it was supposed to, as far as I understood, he had it fully set up, and I think he's accurate, like correct about that. If everything had been able to fly inside the wall and attack the mages, then there would have been no contest. So in fact, Nabar ended up costing Yusi a good amount this turn here, on top of the losses that he took outside the game, right? So good on Nabar for doing that. Then there was a battle in Kurumu, where we see now Satis is also attacking Akasval, just taking some of the forts on his northern border. Not a lot of contest here. Akasval had, of course, put everything into his capital. An unexpected event in Antitoluvia, getting some unrest. So we hold Deadlands. There's nothing left here to siege after that. Even though it says here that I lost the battle, we technically cleared the entire siege. And I got a lot of my good mages out. We weren't able to use the Pretender in that fight. That's kind of unfortunate, but it is what it is. We've got another army though moving up here from Asphodel, going to take Wicked Woods. And we've got this. That must have been in turn 51. We had a big rebellion here in Lake Vastness, taking out my province and pouring in with a ton of these. These are Atlanteans riding giant lobsters. So I'm moving in with an enslaved mind script, hoping to enslave a bunch of, well, them to my cause, and then hopefully even grow my army by moving in here, and then be on the cusp of moving up onto Wicked Woods and contesting that after the fact. That's the plan here. So we pushed him off of Deadlands for now, and it's kind of looking like there's not a lot of Asphodelian troops nearby, which is great. And all in all, I was pretty happy with the turn. I think I thought that I was gonna win in Deadlands, and of course losing then was a pretty rough. But then seeing how I won was kind of fun, and in the end, it ended up being all in all a good turn, I think. Let's see, there's a dire portent, so Asphodel has cast a global enchantment, and that must have been then either Tower of Heavens, which he has online now, which is a really nasty spell. You guys can pause the screen and read it, but basically it's the Tower of Babylon kind of thing, where he raises this giant tower, it generates gold, and it counts as 5 temples each month, and friendly provinces lose unrest. And he also has Gaia's Vengeance up now, by the way, which is a national spell for Asphodel, where he spawns a ton of extra free units, because he didn't have enough of them already. Alright. And that'll be it. Cool turn, lots of stuff going on, and we will leave it at that. Thank you guys, as always, for watching, and there will be more big battles to come. We are not by no means done with Asphodel at this point, so we'll continue the war and see if we can continue to punish him. Costing him this stack in here was a good trade, and we will continue to try to eliminate as many Doomstacks as we can until someone else wins the game, and then hopefully I'm still alive by that point. But if nothing else, then if Asphodel doesn't win, then it's a small victory for Relay. And I hope there's no ill intent between me and that player. We're talking on the Discord, and he knows that it's all about the game, I think. I hope. And with those words, I'm going to end it here, guys. See you in the next one, and bye-bye.